What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, alongside Flex from TWF Gaming. We are live with some of our very best friends on the main Twitch channel on a Friday night, and we're going to power rate the free tier B tier Brutus Beefcake, and then the Big Boss Man. If you're not familiar with power ratings, it's kind of how we broke down what we feel like we gamed the system and figured out how the devs build these characters, and it's also kind of how they fit and play on your rosters. But first, we're going to start with the free tier, and we've had some really good free tiers before, but Flex, I feel like we've been on a cold streak the last few months. What do you think about the last couple months versus the Disciple this month?
I'm a big fan of Dom. Anybody that's heard me, anybody that's read any of the stuff that I put out there,
good.
I love Dom. I think he's such a great card, even without truly everything. I mean, at the top, I think he's hitting like 150 to 175 if you have all the good stuff,
right?
Which they've had a local, by the way. It's not like they haven't had it,
right?
It's not like you need a seance plate, right? So,
right,
they've had,
but he's the A tier.
Yeah, I mean, he's
not the B tier. We're talking B tier. So we're talking Bull Nakano. We're talking Jersey Liv. We're talking those ones.
He's better. Yeah, he's better. Jersey Liv for the trainer. She's a good card, but in terms of damage that Brutus can put out there, yeah, he's better.
Well, I'm excited to see. So I've got there's kind of two ways that I've seen to run him. I'm picking one of the two. Flex, obviously, as the co-host for the night. If you think, man, no, that's not the right way to run him, let me know. But I think for what we're doing here, going the choke slam, 7 MP black. Deal damage, choose a 7x4 area to make into power gems of strength 300k at 6 gold. The running single leg high knee, also 7 MP black. Deal damage, make 38 random gems into power of strength 300k. And then that's the reversal move. We'll talk about that closer towards the end of the stream of how the multi-gems are getting some countermeasures this month. And then the power bomb, deal damage, choose 6 gems to make black. What do you think, Flex? Think that's the way to go? Or you got a different?
Well, funny. So that's actually one of the gameplays I had, one of the builds I had in my video, in my preview. Now, there's two ways to run this one.
Yep.
One is more of a build that I generally don't use, which is with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, the other we don't use Mr. Perfect at all on the power ratings. He's so rare.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to aggravate people for it. It's not as replicable. Right. But when you use him, if you do have him, for those listening in or those that when the coach their their teammates, you're going to get over 140 million damage if you do it that way. Now, for more common folk, you're going to use Carmelo, who's become a lot more accessible and available, and you're going to use Boss Man.
Yep.
Right, I believe Boss Man's. Yeah, so you're going to use Boss Man in the front, so you're going to get the 2 black MP and the 75%, I think, power gem.
Yep, I got him on screen for you so you can see him. That's exactly what we got. We got Mello, we got Boss Man, and then we're going to go Nikki first because obviously Raphael is the play, but again, the average player in the community, trying to keep that in mind, unless we need him to hit that 60 million mark, and then Santa Hogan, but that would still mean for your purple gems in feud, you would need a midline bonus. Just keep that in mind. Yep. Perfect. We've got it. And then on the strap, it's just 100% gem damage strap with Fury 2s, no plates. The Dom plate works well on him if you run the finisher that does the purple gems, but we're going to do it the simple method where there's no plates first. So, yep.
Yeah, he actually doesn't need a strap at all.
Right. Because it's power gems. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't, unless you want to do full armor on it, just as a torture device for it, and do MP downs or whatever. But yeah, he doesn't need that kind of stuff. So he's quality. I enjoy him.
I do too. I haven't gotten to. I just it's the 4 days. I just got him today myself. So I'm about to start using him once the stream is up, pretty much. So. All right, so here's how we do this. We're going to lay down the power gems. Doesn't matter where you put them. I just like to put things towards the bottom. Then you're going to run the single leg knee on that. This also has if the opponent generated the multiply gem, increase the strength of your power gems by 300k. So this is why I kind of called him like the Jacob Fatu destroyer, because these guys seem to be targeting acrobats who make multiply gems, and then there's another one we'll see with Boss Man where it's defensive. So it's like, Boss Man is the answer to Jacob Fatu, but kind of so is Brutus. And then you got make 6 gems into black. Now the whole board is power gems, so no matter what, you're going to erase some. So you do the good old fashioned 5 and 3. Just make that happen. No?
Well, I'll show you one after you run this.
Okay.
That'll be even cleaner.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So that hit right there. That was 31 million. And then that hits. That's another 26 million.
You're going to cascade right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
So you could hit this 3 different times. Well, you really need to hit it 2 times. You're going to get 110 million.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll show you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously enough on that particular thing, but again, if you're going against tier 6s and all that, and increased HP and feud, you need more for it. Can you do this on 2x, or are you doing 1.25 on purpose?
I don't know. Hold on. Usually we don't have tour perks on our CC accounts, and so either that or I just never equip them. No, it's 1.25 is all I got.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to lay down the 7x4 first still, right?
No. Purple move.
Purple move first?
Purple move.
Okay.
You're going to take the purple move. You're going to make you could actually use this to charge it. But the point is you create the wild card there, so that when you drop the power gems, you're only taking away 3 the first rip, and then you're only taking away 3 again after that. So you're going to get the max amount of power gems you can while still swiping. You understand?
Okay, yeah, so I'm just making a 5 match that is ready to go, basically.
Yeah, so no, you're just going to do it. So do on the left column, do on the left column. So you have the 3 black gems over there.
Do it on the left column because they're, no matter what,
no, you can't. No.
Make a
you
5 match?
5. Take the green and the red. Take the green and the red away.
Okay.
Do that.
And then what?
Place the gems. There you go. It's on the delay. There you go. Press OK.
Okay.
There you go. It's on the delay, so I'm just waiting for it to resolve on my screen. Yep. So hit yes. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to drop the multis, both moves.
Drop the power gems?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Drop the power gems.
You're good.
They're doing a lot of reversals on multi this month. That seems to be the theme. So
right.
Get ready, at least for this month. All right. So you're going to hit that, and now you're going to do the other one.
Okay.
And now you're going to match safely somewhere, which you can do.
Right on top, I can do the red gems that are shaken.
I would take away the not at the top. I would take the red on the bottom side with the wild card, so that you preserve an extra power gem.
Okay.
So match that.
All right. So that took him down by about, let's see, not quite 40 million, 30-something million.
Yeah, you're missing something. Oh, because you're not doing Raph. Okay, that's
I'm not doing Raphael for that one.
Yeah, so the next one, you're going to hit anything that is going to take away the fewest amount of power gems, which is the black on the left side.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the black right there. Okay. Bam, that was another 31 million. So that took him down. Let's see, he starts with 75, so that took him down 60-something million.
Yeah. The good thing about power gems, we talked about this in the past, is it skirts around the tier 6s. It skirts around defense medals and all that, because nothing really impacts it other than potential entourage, which people don't generally use.
Right.
But so it's good to have something like this. Like I like using Turtle Seth, which I know is a sore subject for many. But I like using Turtle Seth, but I use his power gem build because I can skirt around and I hit it twice on the finisher. You do the 1x7, 1x7.
Right.
So I proc it twice, and he's doing, I don't know, 100-something million, something like that. So it's nice. Good enough. But anyway, that's the way that I would run this particular build.
Yeah. Well, keep in
So
mind with what Flex is showing us there, if you put Turtle Raphael, Rey Mysterio, in there instead of Nikki Bella, you are going to hit closer towards 100 plus million. But even with
yeah,
this setup, Carmelo is really the only rare thing. Bossman won't be rare by the end of the month. So, I
yeah.
mean, he's rare
Well,
today, but he's
yeah,
not, he won't be, he's A tier. So most, a good portion of the community, including most free to play, will get him. So really, the
yeah,
only thing we've got rare on there is Carmelo. There's no gear. There's no moment.
yeah.
No plate.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's super good.
Bossman is purple or
What's
black
that?
MP. I forget. Bossman MP is purple or black. I forget.
Bossman is purple. Start with 2.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you
The
need
way that
one.
we just played it, yeah, the way we just played is the way you have to play it. So essentially, what you would do in this particular bill is you're charging up the black move by using the
Right.
purple. So you have to use the purple first anyway, and this way you have more of a control over the gameplay. And you could take Santa out, and you can put Bliss in, who just got a boost to 50%, I believe it is, at 35K last month.
Yeah.
MLC. So you would do that, double up, and that should get you to that level as well, closer to probably 90 to 97 million, 95 million or so. We can run that for you again on the
Yeah. We'll do
gameplay.
that again real quick, and that's
That
really
is without
good.
Turtle Seth, right? Not Turtle Seth. It's without Raphael. So
Without Raphael,
let's
but
see
it
it.
does have Bliss now in it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll set
So
up a 5
Bliss would be
match.
the way. Yeah. Because what's happening now is what you're seeing. He has 99 at the moment. That's why you're seeing black loaded up. But that's not the way that it's actually going to be when you play it.
Right.
So you're gonna do 6 and I don't like doing 6 here. Hold on, don't do that. Don't do that side. Do the no, you did it
Yeah. I
already.
was gonna say you're behind, man.
That's
You're
fine.
behind.
Yeah, because it's on the delay. I was gonna say
Right.
don't do that because you're giving 2 to the red on a
Right.
match and you're increasing your chances of a cascade, but you lucked out on that.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty good about not cascading,
Just
but
me being a nerd.
the one thing is I'm not going to hit the wild card gem now, otherwise I will cascade the red. So
Yeah.
I'll hit the black gems here instead.
Yeah.
So there we go. That was 36 million, and then we'll do the blue, and that's another 35. So that was about 76, or no, because he has 70. Yeah, 76, because he has just over 76 million, and he's down to 400K. So that was 76 million with a free tier character with nothing insane, like nothing super rare aside
Yeah.
from Mellow. So that is super good.
Yeah. No, he's strong, and again, you're not really nerfing that, right? Do I
Right,
love the gameplay? No, but I'd rather
right,
play that than some of the others that are that kind of build. Like I wouldn't play Imperium. Um, I don't like his gameplay for that.
right.
I really like Zombie Orton, and I can do 150 million with him, 180 million with him, and I just don't like that gameplay. But for this, especially for the purposes of what we're doing here, he is. He's good. He does the damage, and for people who don't have Hall of Fame Brutus, or don't have the stuff for Hall of Fame Brutus to be meaningful in CSS, you now have the Disciple.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's check out the power rating sheet here. I've got it on screen already. The first
Yeah.
2 votes are objective, meaning it is what it is. The next 3 we'll
Yeah.
vote on, but for the power, for the damage side of things, in order to get a 5, which is the top score, character needs to be able to hit at least 60 million. We will adjust that once the meta shifts the rest of the way. We're probably guessing in the next month or so. But if a character can at least do 60 million, that's like the start of top end damage. And he did 76 million and could do over 100 million, like Flex has said, with Turtle Ray. So he gets a 5. Then on the speed, at least 2 of the following need to be true. MP charge is equal to or lesser than 6 MP. Moves recycle flawlessly, and animations are quick, resulting in a win under 45 seconds. So all of his moves were 7 MP. They don't necessarily recycle automatically. You can do that with a break black, get red plate, or sorry, break black, get purple plate, if you want to add that in the mix. But and I don't know, Flex, are you thinking if you went into feud with him, you're what?
He doesn't need to recycle, so it doesn't. I
Right.
don't.
So it doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah, it
But
doesn't matter to him. So he's kind of like a midline on that because he does have the time component. If you know what you're doing, he has that.
right.
Yeah. even at 1.25, he can get there. He doesn't need a plate. So he's a unique one to this category, right? So I would probably give him a 3 here, possibly, because he gets the time component, which is a big thing for people. He doesn't need a plate,
Right.
which is a big thing for people, right? But he's a 7 MP.
Right. Yeah, so that's what the 4 it would be. Charges 7 MP or less, moves recycle and it only has to be 2 of the 3. Moves recycle flawlessly, which yes or no. The animations are fairly quick, resulting in a win in feud in under 60 seconds. I would say, 3 I could see an argument for, but I think he would get the win in under 60 seconds as long as you're paying attention to what you're doing. But
he can get it under 45, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so be a 4 for that one. For readiness, then, what that means is that the character doesn't need or does need a whole lot of stuff to be ready out the box. So, certain characters like William Regal's a great example, can hit infinity damage, but you need all the gear, all the trainers, the Piper plate, blah, blah, blah. With a character that doesn't need as much, they're better across all rosters because people don't need to have the special things. So we're going to put a poll up in a second, but how this one works is for a 5, it's 0 to 1 special things, plate, gear, moment, rare, trainer, etc. For a 4, it's 2 special things. For a 3, it's 3 special things. And for a 2, it's 4 special things. So while I'm getting the poll ready, Flex, what do you think about his readiness?
Think of, I guess, a 4 or 5, right?
I mean, it would.
Well, he doesn't need. Sorry, he doesn't need those things. So.
Yeah, he doesn't. What does he? He needs mellow to be able to do that. But other than that, what would you?
That's really it. He doesn't need it. Yeah, he doesn't need anything else. Doesn't need a strap. Doesn't need a plate. Doesn't need turtle.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't need that turtle ray. So
right.
really,
you could add him to get more damage, but he doesn't need him to hit the requirements.
I mean, technically, you don't need mellow technically, right? Because if you're gonna do the wild card play anyway, you don't need mellow. You just need a purple. You need woods.
Okay.
So you don't really need mellow.
Interesting.
You need mellow if you're running. If you're running with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
If you're running with Perfect, you need mellow. And if you're running all black, which I have in my video too, then you need mellow because you need the the 4MP. But if you're running with Perfect, you're going to get about 140 to 150 million. But you use Perfect and mellow because then you can drop wild card, drop the power gems, wild card, swipe, whatever. You can keep doing that stuff, but you don't need mellow with the build that we just did. Right. So he doesn't need anything. He's very basic.
Right. The chat put 4 was the vote, although Discord has a 5 as the higher vote, but it's close. Did you vote? Let me look at the scores. Did you vote in that, Flex, at all?
I didn't vote in that. I don't, because I was going to do this, so I didn't want to throw a vote in there too.
Okay, so 4 and 5 were separated by 1 vote on Twitch.
That's why.
Yeah. On Discord, Readiness got 1 more vote, so it's literally tied. If you add in both Discord and Twitch, it's literally tied. Exactly.
So that you're the tie-breaking vote. Go ahead.
Well, you and I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, there's not exactly what in the world would he? If he doesn't even need mellow, what does he need? He doesn't need anything then.
He doesn't need mellow. Because again, we're looking at it with a 99 effective on him, but Bossman is purple, so you're going to use woods because you have to play the wild card anyway, and you're going to charge up on the other side. Now you're going to have to do a different kind of match for it. You're going to have to do a 6 match or a 7 match to get there. I'd rather do a 7 match.
Yeah.
To get there, and then you're still going to swipe twice anyway.
Right, but even mellow is one rare thing because the special requirements are 0 to 1 rare things for a 5. Baby Ice, do the right thing, give him a 4. Tell me, I mean, it's literally tied up. Baby Ice is our unofficial judge. Tell me what he needs to hit that 76 million, and I will gladly drop it to a 4. Just tell me what you got. I'm very willing to hear the argument because you are the unofficial official tie-breaking judge. I'll see what he types in here. I'll come back to that in a moment here, Baby Ice. But just tell me what he's got, and I'm glad to adjust it because he would need to have two special things to be a 4. And it was an exact tie between Discord and Twitch between 4 and 5, which is weird, funny. But welcome back, Discord. So anyway, all right. Well, while Baby Ice is typing, I'll get up the versatility conversation going. So for versatility, character is competitively usable in feud, boss, and showdown for a 5, and has a special gem type that would help in Extreme Rules, Gemmania, etc. For a 4, character is competitively usable in 2 modes, feud, boss, or showdown, and character also has the special gem type, which everybody does now. That it used to be rare, now every character does. For a 3, character is competitively usable in only 1 of the major modes, and if it's a 2, then the character's really not strong in any competitive format, but may be capable of winning in tours and blitzes. Do you think you're going to hit that consistently every time, Baby? I said, I don't know. We could run a few more matches here, but again, readiness is based on readiness is based on what does he need out of the box. So, yeah,
his damage will always be the same. That's the thing you got to understand. Like, if I run a character, let's call it Bionic, right? Bionic Redneck. If I or let me actually use another. I'm going to use Chewbacca because he's a multi-card. It's the first one that popped in my head. I use Chewbacca. I use his multi-move. I don't use nearing end on him. I use 2 moves. Boom, done. I'm hitting 85 to 110 million a clip, right? Every single match, 2 moves. That's it. Done. Now, I face Big Show, and Big Show has a nerf built into it. I'm not hitting the same amount. So it's not consistent based on what my opponent is using or based on something else. Here, whether it's Steel Cage or otherwise, they're not going to nerf out the power gems. They can nerf out a move. They can nerf out a plate. They can nerf out a strap. They can nerf out that. So unless it's Entourage. So for him, he has the readiness for every mode. Like, he can hit this in Showdown, in Feud, in Tour. In Tour, he had obviously hit more because you would just have the 1 MP trainer and that's it. Then you could have, Kofi on the front and have even more damage. But he can hit this in every mode, agnostic of all the other stuff, right? That's the one thing that I would kind of make more aware.
Well, I've already got the poll going. In fact, it's actually done. Oh my gosh, it's a tie again. It's between 5 and 3. This isn't even a
versatility. Big Show, what do you think?
Versatility. So versatility means you would use him in Showdown, you'd use him in Feud, you'd use him in Boss competitively. What do you think? I mean, I don't know that he's going to be a Showdown go-to for me. Boss, if there's a power gem, then yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of power gems he's throwing out. And Feud, I mean, we already said he's hitting 76 million to 110 million, depending on what you put on him pretty quick. But I don't know. 5 and 3 is a wide disparity. Let me check Discord and see where Discord's at. Oh, of course. Discord's 4, so I mean, tie usually goes to the lower number in that case, but you would have voted 4 for versatility. So we've got a kind of a 3-way conversation between, which doesn't help us. These are 3, 4, and 5. But Flex, you tell me, what modes would you competitively use Brutus? Would you use him in boss battle? Would you use him in Showdown, etc.?
In boss, I could use him in boss. I mean, I would have to time it. I could use him in boss because regardless of the nerfs and the boost and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna get what I have. I'm gonna be able to get 140 million, 150 million out of him. So if we're trying to solo the mode or whatever, I know that I'm giving at least a 5% of what I need. For the overall, at least how we math it out. So I know I'm always going to get that regardless of anything else. So would I use him? Yeah, I could use him. Would I? Maybe not, because I have a little bit more depth in my roster. I'm a little more blessed in that sense. I would use him in Showdown because I can tag in somebody. I can tag in a female or somebody else and leverage those power gems for a task. So yeah, I would consider doing that, especially if it is a rec-based type of setup. So to me, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't use him there. I
Okay.
wouldn't necessarily use him in feud just because, again, I'm going to be using just this feud alone. I can
Right.
use Vinny Vegas. I can use what's his face. I'm going to use 316 because I have the Bloodsucker and I don't need anything else. He's going to be doing over 100 million this feud easily with 2 moves, and I'll take that all day long versus having to do a wild card build.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean that to me, I wouldn't use him in that mode because I don't need to, but I have a different roster than a lot of people, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. So we
but
got
I
to
would use him.
consider the average, but
Yeah, but I would consider using him in Showdown. There's why not? You know, I could
right.
use him in boss guaranteed damage regardless of what the perk's going to be.
Well, hold on one sec. I'll let you finish. But I put up a revote on the versatility. The only options are 5, 4, and 3. I need everybody in this chat to vote. Flex, you can too. I'll still consider what's on Discord there, but it was so tied between those 3 that there's not a fair, like, this is what the community said because it's there. But you're hearing Flex's argument for him. I'm going to turn the mic back over to him, but everybody in here vote. You got 30 seconds. All right, Flex, finish up. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was it. I voted on there. I voted. I'll tell you my vote. I voted the 4.
Chef Barika says, I put in a 4. I'm driving in the rain, so I can't do the thing. But yet you are typing on your phone. So, just saying. Be careful, friend. Be careful.
Yeah, because that's more. Yeah, 4 is a winner. A good vote.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You got 20 on that, and they got 60% of the vote. I think 4 is a fair number, just because again, he's universally a power gem card, right? It's not, again, you don't, the more the better. If you have Raph, he only gets better. Right. So, and Raph is not as uncommon as it might appear, but he's definitely not as common as people would like also. Right. But again, you do have the boost that just came up with Bliss, which helps a little bit. It's not 200%, but it does help some. So anyway, I gave him a 4. I think that's the right number for him.
Well, good. And as always, I don't vote unless absolutely needed, but it's a 4. The community that's what Discord has as the predominant number, and now that's what Twitch has as well. But guys, we're talking about the free tier character. We have 5, 4, 5, 4. That is, I mean, we'll see what his entourage ability gets him here, but this might be the highest rating we've ever given a free tier character. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that is actually the B tier, because like free characters like, you know, Trick Liv Morgan that wasn't meant to be free, but then got given out for free and etc. I'm not talking that. But anyway, so we're on Entourage. This is the make or break for him. Entourage for a 5, his ability needs to be an essential training or coach ability. Add something you don't want to go into battle without. For a 4, it's a widely used trainer ability. Helps the character it's put on to reach their full potential. For a 3, it's a niche trainer coaching ability. May not be used much, but very valuable when needed. And for a 2, you use it if you don't have somebody that just does that thing better. So for him, I about hit home. Let me not hit that button. His trainer ability at 26k, not 35k, 26k. Red moves that deal damage will deal 75% more damage. Black moves start with 2 MP. Flex, I'm going to type a poll. What do you think about his entourage ability? I hear that huff.
What was it?
I said I heard that.
Put that up on the screen one more time. Would you be kind enough?
Yeah, hold on one second here. There you go.
It's also going to help for the vote. I'm on the delay, so hold on 2 seconds. Entourage. So we got red moves.
Red moves that deal damage do 75% more. Black moves start with 2 MP. Now, obviously, he's great for Big Boss Man this month.
He's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better word. Necessary. But
yeah.
Is there enough other characters that are going to use black moves with red move damage that he gets beyond a 3?
That's what I'm thinking of, and I can't really think of anyone where it's gonna go. Like if I want to use Legend Roman, not really. If I'm gonna use Bronson Reed, not really. I mean, just for like CSS type characters that are constantly used,
Yeah.
that are annoying to use, and you want to just get away with it like that. No, um, I don't really see a lot of it. I like it.
Right.
I just see the value there also because if I'm versing a tier 6, that move damage has to be really spectacular for it to be meaningful, in that battle. So to me, I'm not going to vote on this one. We're getting some good voting coming in, but I don't. Jab, if you're using Stevie Ray, then I got another game for you to play. Stop it.
If you're still
I know
using
you're not
Stevie
using
Ray.
Stevie Ray, but yes, he is a CSS that is annoying at times too. I put a
Yeah.
drip plate on him, so I put the drip maker on him. So
Jabroni, you
anyway,
said you didn't see the vote go live.
I would do I would do one or
So
two.
it is a 3 on, like dominantly a 3 on Discord.
Yeah.
4 1, but 3 was right up on it. So between Discord and Twitch, he's a 3 right now. So Jabroni, if you want to throw your vote real quick, you're welcome to, and I'll count it. But right now it's a 3 when you average. Yeah, would have been a 3. So yeah, between Discord and Twitch, it's definitely a 3 on there, which I mean I think is right. Other than Boss Man, who is still move damage relevant? Now, Merrick's suggests that whatever comes next, if it's 7-star, 6-star, platinum, doesn't matter, that it's going to be a move damage meta. And there's precedent for that, in the rotation of what the metas are. So we might see a lot more people that need it. But right now, especially, I mean, there's 600 and something characters in the game. I have one in mind right now, which is Boss Man. I don't know. Thoughts?
No, I don't see that being a change there as long as tier 6 is there. Again, it has to be significant amount of damage to offset someone who's going to have well equipped, well subbed out tier 6 medals because it just takes so much off.
Yep.
So, I mean, people got caught on that with the Eddie tour, right? The Eddie LWO tour. I beat it with a level 1,
Right.
but people are like, okay, I'm doing all these types of things and I'm getting 0 damage. I'm like, well, look at the opponent build. They're like, well, what do you mean they don't have anything? I'm like, look at the opponent build. Look at their strat. They don't have anything. I had this. You saw my conversation with the town hall, right?
Yeah.
It's like, look, just show me what you're running. Didn't show me. I'm like, okay, so here's what's going on. Since you don't want to look, you don't want to share anything. Your opponent has tier 6 medals. Cena
Right.
had tier 6 medals. And the damage, even with their 2,500% buff, was 0. So
Right.
it's again, it has to be a lot of it, and it might have to be a boost move to get there too. And the boost move kind of scares me at times too because of reversals. So
Right.
again, I don't know necessarily if that's going to be a meta thing or not. I think it's something that they've been dribbling in because we haven't had a new sub meta, right? And
Right.
that was something that was big with Lex Express and Edge and all that. That was a big thing. And then we had Bleed, and then we had, like, it was kind of like cyclical, and it felt like.
Right.
But we haven't really had that in 2 years, 3 years, like since back is like Goat Becky era.
Right.
So maybe longer, right? So I don't see that being the case in that particular. I understand why Merrick said that. We're just guessing anyway. But if
Right.
I'm gonna if I'm gonna speculate on it, I don't see that being the case in that sense because they can make more money. They can make more sense out of the fact with all the different modes and Cage and all that with having characters that are a little bit more dynamic than just, hey, this is a sub card. So anyway, that's my theory on it.
No, that's great. Well, he's a 21 overall, which puts him with Eric Rowan, Rabblin' Rabbit, and the Terry Funk, and controversy, just above Dirty Dom. Just above Dirty Dom. That's
I quit. Who did
right.
that? Who power rated Dirty Dom like that? Who did him dirty?
Wasn't that you and I think.
No, we did last week with Penta. So Penta was another one that was a little bit more controversial just because of the way that he fell. He it was kind of weird. So, but this is the way that the format is at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, that still puts him in some pretty decent company. Let me see.
Yeah,
Can
he's not a bad
I?
card. Yeah, he's just a different gameplay. If I had a choice
I
between two,
want
they're
that.
completely different cards. I would choose Dom, but they're completely different cards, obviously, and I have the stuff for Dom anyway. But again, as I wrote in chat before, if you need the SD task done in one energy, he's going to give you that.
Right.
You know,
Well, and looking
so
at the numbers, I can see where it is because they're, I mean, almost similar on there. Dom's readiness we have as a 4 instead of a 5 because he did need Goldberg, the plates, blah
he
blah.
needs help.
Like, yeah. So that was, he had a little bit like just that tip over by a hair more that he needed to be ready. Because I do know, again, you and I's rosters are very different from others. I know a lot of people who message like, I'm glad you guys love Dom. He can't do that on my roster. And, again, it's just missing some things. But Brutus doesn't need anything to hit that. So Dom is quicker, more reliable. Brutus is, a little more what's the right word? He's a little more volatile. He can just get the job done. You just might tip a little bit if something goes the wrong way with you. But either way, 21 for a free tier character is very, very respectable.
Yeah, so when we're talking about it too, like when we had the conversation about Penta last week, right, which was a really fun conversation. Penta has two different real like primary builds, right? Because everything else is just kind of like messing around, botch builds and all that. Um, but and he has power gem coming off the botch. When you're looking at Dom's best build, he's 2 moves, really, right? If you have the stuff, he's 2 moves. You could do it
Right.
with 3 moves also and do things a little bit differently. But um, with Brutus, you're basically just using this build unless you're going all black. So this is the build that you're going with, and he does have a sub if I'm not mistaken too, which I think spits out.
Yeah. Well, that's his
Yeah, so
2-star build. Basically, kind of similar to this, but you'd use the sub as your get me started move, and he's great at 2-star. Like that was one of the things I commented on in his
oh, well,
3-minute move sets. We always try to do the 3-minute move sets for the free tier character 3-star or below if possible, and usually that's rough. But with him, he's got a great move set at 2-star.
I saw something in chat. I believe in Soup Hendry, right? Brutus equal to Tama and Rabbit and Bully Ray. Rabbit is amazing if you have the stuff,
Right.
especially the premium moment, which I saw a lot of people getting for free, basically in the Armory. Bubba Ray, Trick Bubba, is also phenomenal. See, this is the thing that people look at a card as like, this is what I use them for, this is what they're good at. Yeah, everybody looks at Rabbit as, hey, he's going to give me this big move damage set. Maybe not as relevant anymore, but it was at that time. I put a video out on Rabbit with doing the all blue build, and he was pumping, right? And the all blue build is a lot better, and it takes advantage of his moments versus the the move damage build. So I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about just as pure gameplay.
No,
You're just
because
talking.
he's there. Bubba's also a 21 out of 25 which,
All right, I'm
again,
sorry.
that's the, yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
not my screen. I didn't see that. Yeah, I
right,
had the whatever
right,
the thing says. We're coming right back or whatever it is. I was
yeah.
doing.
No, you're
Okay,
good. I'm back up on there. But that's I think that's it for the power rating side of him. I think the community did a great job, and I think my 2 cents, and I'll let Flex close out the video. Is yeah, he's very good for a free character for the month. Like that, this is
he's
one of the
awesome,
better
yeah.
free characters that we've gotten in a while.
Yeah. Look, you don't have to invest much into him. You never have to put a plate on him. You never have to put a strap on him. You don't have to do any of these things versus somebody like Bull. You had to do those kind of things to make her serviceable, to make
Right.
her valuable at that particular level. And you probably still wouldn't necessarily use her because you have somebody else. Now, are you going to use him over some of the other options that are there, especially Striker, which is a very deep part of Attitude Era? Yeah, probably not. But again, if you need to do a task or something like that, and you don't want to be bothered with doing certain things, or there's rules that you can't use certain things, certain plates, or whatever, then yeah, he's going to be somebody that you're
Good
going to
point.
do because you're going to get 100 million plus with him right away, and that's going to get rid of your task on one energy. So, and you can do a tag in too if you, for whatever your slot 2 is, depending on whatever your situation is. If you have to bring in, you have to do 100 million damage with, Fearless Nikki. What are you going to bring in?
Yeah, right.
You're going to use a power gem build. I mean, if you do multi, she has to be built up for it to matter. You're going to use a power gem build. So whoever your power gem cards are, that's what you're going to use on that. And he's one for a lot of players. He's probably going to be one of the primary ones. So again, it's not somebody that's going to be my frontline card in a lot of modes, but it's somebody that I would use, if
Nice.
needed. I'm not going to shy away.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, sorry. That's it for this video. We're gonna power a boss man here in just a moment, and then we got some more fun coming up. So be sure to like and subscribe to Champions Chat on both Twitch and on YouTube, and also TWF Gaming. There'll be a tag in the video's description to make sure you can get there and give a sub as well. So that's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one, friends. Bye. And exit loop.
And